Hello there. This is actually a redo of a video that I did a few months ago. I was just not really happy with the lighting at all. And I've also added some new models, so I figured why not? Let's just go ahead and do a redo. But I basically have a collection of demons, not full squads, but just enough to have some really fun little scenarios with. Instead of having full 10-man squads of bloodletters or pink horrors or demonettes, I just have squads of 5, and then they kind of respawn. I recently did a video with my Grey Knight Terminators, and I have a little small scenario that I play where it's just those 5 or 6 Terminators versus just a never-ending horde of demons. And these are those demons. And we'll first start off with the Demon Prince, of course. I absolutely love this model. I've had several Demon Princes over the years, mostly from the last incarnation, but the level of detail on this new model is just absolutely awesome. And I actually magnetized him too, so as you can see, his wings actually come off, and I have the little Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine style backpack. It just fits right on there, just in case I want to do one on foot. One of the things I do like about the rules for Demon Princes in this edition is that it's not just that wings give them extra movement. They actually have different data sheets. Ones with wings have different rules than the ones on foot. Ones on foot have higher toughness. I really like that they did that because otherwise you would always want to take the ones with wings. But I also magnetized the sword. And one downside in this edition, though, is that the sword and the axe don't really do anything different, but it looks cool, so pretty much use that axe just to note if it's a Demon Prince of Khorne. Speaking of, one of the things that I did strive when I was deciding on how to paint this is that I didn't want him to look like any one particular Chaos God. I wanted, it's got the reddish skin, but then you've got like the bronze here has some corrosion on it. There's, this sparkly blue Zinch-like armor. Then you have like the purple here, and of course, green eyes I actually think work well for Slaanesh because, green like greed and envy. But then, of course, that corrosion is very Nurgle. So kind of wanted to add just a few touches of everything in there. And here are my bloodletters, Demons of Khorne. I also threw in a couple of tiny little flesh hounds, just because the Zinch and Nurgle that I'll show in just a little bit, they had a few extra models just because of the nature of what the battle line units are, and I wanted to really flesh out the 5 bloodletters, and had some extra bits left, Kroot hound bodies, lizardmen heads, and various other things, and just put together those hounds. And for the Demons of Nurgle, I have both Plague Bearers and Nurglings. Again, the focus of this collection is to have mostly battle line units, and Nurglings used to be troops, so they kind of fit in, and Nurglings are everywhere, so I figure they're common enough to have this. You'll also notice that the Plague Bearers I have aren't the official Plague Bearer models. Part of this collection was that I didn't want to have to buy full 10-man boxes of everything just to have the little 5-man unit just for the little collection in the scenario I mentioned. So the 5 bloodletters that I bought a full box of 10, and the other 5 I converted into these Plague Bearers. I was able to find a couple of actual Plague Bearer heads, though, at my local game store. Has kind of a bits box where people can kind of leave sprues and trade in bits. So I was able to get official Plague Bearer heads for at least a couple of them. This guy as well. But you can kind of tell that this is just the bloodletter body. But I just cut off that frill, added some green stuff for some, swelling and decay, and just, painted it gross. These are actually bloodletter faces that I, again, just hacked up and gave it just one eye with green stuff, so. Now the horrors were a little bit interesting because I actually just bought a single box of blue horrors, but 5 of them I put on larger bases and painted them pink so that I could have my 5 pink horrors. Now I also did have a leftover one from when I played Demons years and years ago, from the Chariot, so that's where the banner guy is. So technically 4 from the blue horror kit I turned into pink horrors, and then I did 6 in the actual blue scheme, because you got to have an even number of blue horrors because of the way that their split rule works. If you roll a 4+ when a pink dies, 2 blues show up, so they have to be an even number. But the brimstone horrors can be odd, so I only assembled and painted 5 of those, and used some of the others for basing in other places. And I actually use fluorescent paint on these, fluorescent yellow and orange, particularly for the brimstones and all the little flames that they have. So if I shine a blue light on that, you can kind of see how it really pops. I also have some fluorescent green in the banner, which kind of shows up, but it's kind of overexposing. But I like fluorescent paints. You'll see that too on the Demonettes. So for the Demons of Slaanesh, I had to do something a little bit different, because as you saw with the Demons of Nurgle, including the Nurglings, and with all the different horrors, that they just had a lot of models, and a big, in the case of the Nurglings, much bigger models. And so, I added the little flesh hounds with the bloodletters, but for the Demonettes, it was kind of hard, because I didn't want to just add more Demonettes. So what I ended up doing was I found bits ordered some fiends, so the steeds, and I gave them little, I gave them arms, which they don't normally have, covered up the saddle, and they're kind of like mini fiends. So it's like it's somewhere in between a steed of Slaanesh and a fiend, and the steeds of Slaanesh are pretty ubiquitous within the range. They're on chariots. They're being ridden in various places, so I figured, let's just go ahead and add a couple of those, just to kind of fill that out. I really enjoyed painting the Demonettes, just with that hot pink hair and the kind of the gradient between where their light skin goes into that purple, and I actually used a fluorescent purple, which again, I don't know if you're going to be able to really see it. It's very much going to overexpose, but that and their green eyes, of course. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on the Demons of Chaos.